I am Brooklyn B. Washington. Let's get to the Weekly Blowback, where we discuss and debate one of the latest sports topics. We will discuss more, but
we don't got no time for that.
Joining me live from the meet is TWB analyst Lake R. Avon.
All right, I'm here with Lake R. Avon, and we're about to get into whether the Falcons can repeat as NFC champions this season if they can make it back to the Super Bowl. And the answer is no. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. Think about it. The last four teams to repeat Super Bowl appearances were the 2014 Seahawks, the 2004 Patriots, the 1998 Broncos, and the 1993 Cowboys. I'm just going to go back the last 24, 25 years. This is a once every 6-year average. And the bottom line is, if you take a look at those four teams within the last 25 years that actually repeated and made it to the Super Bowl, they actually won the Super Bowl the previous year, with the exception of the 2014 Seahawks, who followed up their Super Bowl appearance and then lost to the New England Patriots. Also, the Atlanta team is nowhere close to the juggernauts that were the Patriots in 2004, the Broncos in 1998 as repeat champs, and the 1993 Cowboys, or the 2014 Seahawks, who weren't able to win just because of a bad call by Pete Carroll that would enable them to actually win the Super Bowl. What do you think, Lee?
You're not making any sense. You pretty much proved my point that the Seahawks should have repeated if it wasn't for a bad call by Pete Carroll. Let me give you a few stats. Dan Quinn is a defensive-minded coach who took the Seahawks back to 2 straight Super Bowl appearances and bringing that defensive mind to Atlanta Falcons, who was growing, who also had the sack leader in the NFL last year. His name is Vic Beasley with 15.5 sacks. You also have Matt Ryan, who's the MVP, who had a quarterback rating of 117, best in the NFL, 38 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, best of his career. And he also has True Font coming back as a cornerback, top cornerback, to shut down things, as well as having Julio. So it's kind of hard to tell me that Matt Ryan and the Falcons doesn't have a good chance to come back and go to the Super Bowl. Not to mention, they have 7 games that I looked on their schedule to where they're easy games, not even competitions. Like, they play the Saints 2 times, they play the Bears, they play the Jets. Those are awful teams that's not going to really compete with you. So those are 7 wins that are just definitely going to happen this year. I mean, the Falcons have a chance to repeat going to the Super Bowl.
Well, listen, if you want to talk about a chance, everybody got a chance to make it to the Super Bowl. So obviously you're right about that. There's always a chance. The question is, are they going to? And the answer is no. And you just made my point. You just pointed to the schedule. Let's take a look at that schedule. First of all, they're in a tougher NFC South this year with a stronger Jameis Winston coming back with more weapons, with a Deshaun Jackson on the other side. Okay, not only that, but he has a beast in tight end with a 6'6" round 1 pick in O.J. Howard to go along with Cameron Brate. So you got weapons all over the field on offense. You have a stronger Tampa Bay team. You have Cam Newton coming back healthy. He has more weapons. New Orleans, they're coming back. They have more weapons. So you're in a tougher division. You're not going to run through the NFC South. They got to face Green Bay, and they got to play Dallas. Games that are not gimmies on their schedule. Then, if you want to continue to look at the schedule, let's look at the teams that they're going to be playing. They got to play on the road against Seattle and New England.
Are you done with this nonsense?
I am.
Okay,
it's not nonsense.
Let somebody who knows what they're talking about go. The Falcons, if they played the Dallas Cowboys, who doesn't have a good defense, they'll be okay. You saw the Patriots just lose to the Chiefs, and the Chiefs' offense is definitely not nearly as good as the Falcons. Mm-hmm. And you're talking about Jameis Winston, who hasn't proved anything. You tell me O.J. Howard, who got drafted, hasn't proved anything in the NFL, and you're talking about how great they're going to be.
When you're 6'6", when you're 6'6" pass catching tight end, you don't need to show anything. All you got to do is show up on the field. That's all you got to do.
Oh, you still have to produce and perform. You haven't done anything to show me otherwise.
Well,
until the season starts,
Lake, I want to know, Lake, what I want to know is when you line up Mike Evans on one side, about to run a fade, and then you on the other side, you got O.J. Howard at 6'6", and you got Deshaun Jackson on the other side in the red zone, and you got Cameron Brate on the other side for tight end. Tell me what you're going to do to stop that.
It's all about their scheme. Their scheme is pretty good. They play cover 3 and mix in some cover 1. So, it worked for the Seahawks, and they got some upcoming stars on the defense of the Falcons. So we have to see what happens with that. But Famous Jameis, I like him. He's up and coming. He's still young. He's still a turnover machine. I need to see more out of him. But they have a pretty solid defense. But as far as the Panthers, Cam Newton up and down. You never know what you're going to get out of him. We don't know.
So former MVP of the league, Cam Newton, is up and down.
You're talking about the former MVP. I'm talking about the MVP now. That's what I'm talking about.
Is the current MVP up and down? Because the season that he had before his MVP season was pretty trash, as I recall.
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
The Falcons didn't even make the playoffs.
Cam Newton got to show me he can stand in the pocket and deliver some throws and accurate throws before we get to talking about that. And they need help on the back end of their defense. They're still young, so I'm not too much worried about the teams that's going on the NFC South.
And Dallas and Seattle.
Well, Dallas is
all teams that they gotta play.
Dallas is a roller coaster waiting to happen. They're awful. They're gonna make it to the playoffs. Maybe, depending on what the Eagles and the Giants do. But if they do make it to the playoffs, they're never going to win a game. Because that's what they do. They fold under pressure like they always do. Haven't won a playoff game in years.
It's amazing how you're pointing out all these teams are going to fold under pressure as if the Falcons are perennial greats in the NFC. They're an inconsistent team from year to year. They haven't had any consistency in terms of success over the past 5 seasons. You're never going to know what you're going to get out of the Falcons.
I'm going to tell you the difference. The Falcons just went to the Super Bowl and should have won the Super Bowl, and they live and learn it from their mistakes. But
tell me the difference as to why the Falcons, they're going to learn from their mistakes going to the Super Bowl, but the Carolina Panthers didn't after being in the Super Bowl the year before.
Well, that's different. That's totally that is totally different subject.
There's nothing different.
Yeah, that's a big difference. And Panthers team split up too. It's a whole different team. And you have injuries. Luke Kuechly got injured. A lot of stuff plays into that.
Which is why they're going to be better.
The best linebacker. They'll be better, but they won't be better than the Falcons.